blue, white, full of light, deep blue, green, cool, red, dazzling, gold. South Pelion, the great borough of colour, of cultural and natural heritage, a unique destination which harmoniously combines the mountain, the sea and the island environment with culture, natural and cultural heritage. Colours become pictures, and pictures villages, beaches, waters, forests, and islands, weaving a colourful canvas on the mountain of the centaurs, half men and half horses, according to mythology, lived in the most magnificent region of Greece, Pelion. Most acclaimed is the wise centaur Heron. Hunter, teacher and doctor, he healed the sick using the medicinal herbs of Pelion. A paradise, a balanced fusion of the mountain and the sea, awaiting the traveller throughout the year. Access in South Pelion is nothing but difficult, either by flying to Neanhelos or by motorway, and subsequently driving to Volos and then along the coastal route until the borough after about 15 kilometers. The visitor should anticipate contemporary, well-organized hotels, small, picturesque, welcoming stone-built guest houses, and many places to savour the authentic traditional gastronomy of Pelion. Mansions, cobblestones, churches, squares, museums, all year-round events and festivals unite locals and visitors in respect for local tradition and customs. The beaches are famous for their crystal-clear waters and beautiful scenery engulfed by the mountain of the centaurs. The Aegean Sea and Pagasetikos Gulf boast breathtaking emerald, clear waters fit for swimming and for every kind of water sport or underwater exploration. The borough starts from the seaside of Malaki with its marvellous long beaches and extends to the mountain until Agios Georgios, one of the most splendid villages on Pelion, with its museum of sculptor Nicholas and the inimitable works of art in the square. The seaside settlement of Katogatzea with its campsites offers unforgettable holidays. On the way up the mountain there is Milies, with its scenic train station of the small train of Pelion. There is a large iron bridge of Evaristo de Chirico and a chance to rest and enjoy quality food in the spacious square. A little higher on Pelion, Visites and Pinakates, with their old mansions and separate guest houses, are set in the greenery of Pelion and constitute an ideal destination for all seasons. Heading towards Pagasetikos Gulf, the road leads to Kalanera. Koropi is the seaport of Milies, a quaint settlement located 22 kilometers from Volos, beach of Pagasetikos Gulf, the extensive 1-mile sandy beach of Bufa with its immaculate waters. The road carries on to charming Ephesus, a harmony of island colors and Pelion architecture. The houses are built to overlook the wonderful sea view. Above Ephesus, in Aphetes, there are stone bridges built around a magnificent olive grove looking down on the Pagasetikos Gulf. Neochori, at the beginning of the peninsula, features an outstanding square and the Church of Agios Dimitrios, built in 1768, which contains religious icons by the folklore artist Pagonis. The small but celebrated village of Kalamaki, also known as Propham, is famous for its natural slate. Next to Kalamaki, located on the borough's boundaries, lost amongst the chestnut trees, there is a hidden village, Lambinu. In the vicinity of Neochori, the village of Siki is majestically placed for surveying the northern Sporadas Islands, Scathos, Skopelos and Alonissos. On a fertile plateau of olive trees 40 kilometers from Volos lies the biggest village of South Pelion, Argalasti, the administrative center of the borough. The landscape is dominated by the marble bell tower of the Church of Apostles Peter and Paul, built in the 19th century, modelled on the Church of Smyrna's Saint Photinis bell tower, with large clock faces and 2 Russian bells. Pelion-style mansions, beautiful homes with flower-filled gardens, and neoclassical buildings adorn the village. The poet Kostas Varnavas taught literature at the local school. The visitor will come across cobbled paths leading down to the beaches and to the mountain villages and the beautiful bow bridges. In the village square, as in other squares in Pelion, backgammon in the cool shade of the century-old trees constitutes a typical form of entertainment. From Argalasti, one can easily access Horto, Kalamos and Lefokastro, idyllic villages on the Pagasetikos Gulf. As well as the impressive beaches of Paltsi and Melani, lapped by the turquoise sea of the Aegean. Near Argalasti, there is a conference and cultural center of the St. Nicholas Monastery of Pau. Between Argalasti and Lafkos, there is Metochi, a small delightful village whose residents once worked for the St. Nicholas Monastery of Pau. A few kilometers away from Argalasti lies Xinovrisi, a village of particular local color, neighboring with Potistika, one of the most beautiful beaches of Pelion and Greece. A prominent village on the mountain ridge is Lafkos, with its stone-paved village square, shady plane trees, and its majestic post-Byzantine church. One can visit the Radio Museum with a collection of about 120 antique radios, dating from 1920 to 1960 from the world over. all donated by the German scientist Wilfried Schoeps. This is the first and sole radio museum Adonis Tavanis in Greece. The old primary school houses the Fabio Museum, with sculptures and works of the local artist Thanasis Fambas. On the other side, facing the Aegean and the Sporadas island, lies Promyri, one of the most historical villages of Greece, with a particularly strong presence in the national liberation struggle of 1821 and the subsequent Greek revolutionary movements of the 19th century. Forged in legend and tradition, lush Promyri is built amphitheatrically, with many coastal hamlets such as Murtias, Lyri, Kastri, and Katigiorgis. Here visitors can enjoy local tsipuro and mouth-watering fresh seafood. The placid harbour of Platanias is situated opposite Scathos. It is a quiet fishing village with a beach where in the summer one can sail across to the magical island of Scathos on one of the daily excursions. Next to Platanias, Mikro is one of the most beautiful hamlets of the borough. It offers peace and tranquility in a beautiful natural setting. On the way to the tip of the Pelion Peninsula and towards Trikeri, to the west side of Pelion, there is Horto, an eye-catching coastal village on the Pagasetikos Gulf. It has the typical vegetation and architecture of Pelion, which blends into the natural environment. It's a perfect place for a peaceful, relaxing holiday. Continuing the journey, the road leads to Mylina, a modern seaside resort, just outside of which there are remains of the ancient city Olizon. On the little island of Alatas, one can visit the Byzantine monastery of Agii Saranda. Trikeri, the prow of Thessaly, is a former sponging village with an impressive marine history. Famous captains played an important role in the years of the 1821 rebellion. Perched on the peak of a barren hill, it has all the characteristics of an island settlement, which differentiates it from the rest villages of Pelion. There is profound interest in the old captain's mansions, the tower houses, the narrow streets, and the women's gold-embroidered traditional costumes, which are still worn on special festive days. Distinctive churches, chapels and monasteries, the the prominent Αγία Triada Church of Trickery, with its characteristic wooden carved iconostasis, frescoes, and the throne of Napoleon. The residents of Trickery used to be sponge divers who harvested the precious sea sponges from the seabed throughout the year. Annually, several cultural events take place. In this way, tradition is preserved. The seaport of Trickery, the harbour of Αγία Κυριακή, is one of the most important ports of Pagasetikos Gulf. In the Tsipouradica restaurants in the cove of Αγία Κυριακή in Trickery and on the island, visitors can savour the local specialty of flame-grilled octopus and other seafood treats. On the way to Trickery, on the outskirts of the borough of South Pelion, small beaches and tiny bays welcome the visitor. Among them stands out Destiny. Or watching the sun descend slowly into the sea will definitely be etched on the visitor's memory.